Here we have an article model inside of Graph CMS. We're going to be working with the string field type. This comes in many different flavors. The first is single line text, multi-line, markdown, and slug. We'll go ahead and add a title. We'll leave everything as a default, but what we will do is we'll set this field as required. You can also choose to set an initial value, but we'll go ahead and add this title field. The next, we'll add an excerpt to our article model. So we'll give this a display name and we'll create that field. Next, we'll go ahead and add the content field, and this will be of the type markdown. We can choose from all of the previous field options, but we'll go ahead and create this field without making it required, unique, or anything else. Then let's go ahead and add a slug field. We covered the slug field in another video, so let's just briefly add a slug template and add this field. Now let's go ahead and add another single line text, but this time we will allow multiple values. Now let's go ahead and edit some content and we'll create our first article. We'll give it a title, we'll add a brief description of the article, and then we'll go ahead and paste in some content. Now it's important to remember that the field types we chose when creating these fields were of type single line, multi-line, markdown, and slug. Although the types are all string, what those fields do is allow content editors to interact with the fields in the way that they should. So in some cases, we have a text area or just a single line input text. And in some other cases, like the markdown, we have a markdown editor where you can make text bold, quoted, list, headings, and much more. We then have the keywords field. Because this allows multiple values, we will render a UI that allows you to add items to a list. And of course, once you save and publish that and you go back to edit, you can do things like edit the keywords and rearrange the list. Now let's switch to the API playground. Here we'll open the documentation for our API and we'll fetch the article type. We can see here that it implements the node type, but it also includes all of our custom fields that we've just created. Here we have title, excerpt, content, and slug, and that array of keywords. And you'll notice that they all return the type string. Now let's go ahead and query for all of those fields. And we can see here we have the content returned to us that we created inside of the Graph CMS UI. What you can also do with Graph CMS is use the Mutations API to create an article. So here we've added some content and we've added an array for our keywords, along with the other fields. If we run this mutation, we'll now see that we have an article returned to us in the draft format. Then if we load the content editor, you can see here that we have a draft article. This is because we haven't published it yet. We'd need to run a separate mutation to do so.